let's see. Here's the first take that we're going to get on the index. And it is in the green, actually. It's a pretty good start. 50 points in the green. The Sensex is up 150 points. And not bad. The mid-cap index is where the real party has been. So that continues this morning as well. Up about 70-odd points. Now, the top gainers are once again the auto stocks. So Tata Motors is up about 0.7%. M&M up almost 0.5%. And then you have a BPCL, which has gained about 1%. Sonal was just talking about that. It's a big move coming in there. There is some traction coming back into the technology space. Not too much, really. Infosys is up 0.6%. And then you have SBI Life, post the monthly insurance data. SBI Life is up almost 0.8%. HDFC Life is up 0.7% as well. On the downside, you had the export data that came out from the pharma companies. Divis Labs is down about 1.5% there. ONGC, Power Grid, Bajaj Finserv are a couple of other stocks that are in the red. Titan, ICICI Bank, just about trending on the red line. Nothing really alarming over there. But by the way, Go Fashion is seeing a large trade. There's a pretty large trade that's happened over there on Go Fashion, so don't lose sight of that. We'll get that going up for you on your screen. Again, the stock is down about 5%. And in the broader markets, it's trending in the green, not too much, up about 50-odd points. So let's see how that goes. But otherwise, good opening.
Well, good opening, Sonia. But that export data, it's not just weighing on Divis Laboratory, it's also weighing on Laurus Laboratories. That stock, in fact, is down closer around 2% as we speak. Dixon is pulling back closer around 2% this morning. On the winning side, though, TVS Motors, as Sonia mentioned, one of their subsidiaries getting a fund infusion, the financing arm. Stock is up closer around 3%. Could make sense to also look at Sundaram Clayton. Normally, you don't have too much volumes out there, but that holds 50% stake in TVS Motors as well. So that's another one you could be looking at. Delta Corp actually is coming back in a big way. Last few sessions, you've seen Delta Corp moving from strength to strength. Today as well, it's up closer around 2.5%. Maybe, in fact, we'll invite the management, find out what's going on there. But that stock's been moving quite well. PI Industries as well, up closer around 2% to kickstart trade. Maharashtra Seamless, well, they're still debt-free, but they have repaid some part of their long-term debt as well. And they're sounding quite positive on the outlook. We had the management with us last week itself, so that one's up close to 3.5%. A decent opening is what we are seeing. The market's trying to move up, but we're seeing some bit of supply, currently holding at around 18,600. Prashant?
33 points, Nigel, so 18,596 is where we are at. IEX is, after losing about 20% last 2 days, coming up about 2%, so 125 in that one. Manappuram is coming up with about a 2% pop. Maybe we take a look at Muthoot as well if there is seeing any action. TVS Motor, I think we mentioned, is a 3% gain on TVS Motor, coming up with decent volumes. Cochin Shipyard is coming up with a 4.5% gain on decent volumes as well. So Cochin Shipyard at about 563. Last week these ship builders, Garden Reach, Cochin, these did pretty well. CMS Info, right? So there was that 14% block deal. We put out the names of some of the buyers in that block deal. That's coming up. The stock ended 6% lower. It's up about 2%, so pulling back a little bit. What else? Green Lamb, I think, saw some action on Friday. It's up another 3.5% this morning. Only mentioning these with the volumes. TTML has seen a large, at least on the charts, fundamentals is a different story, but it did very well last week, and it's up another 2% this morning, so keep an eye out on that one. And Shipping Corporation is another one which is higher. Market breadth is positive. It's nothing outrageous in terms of advances to declines, but it's 250 stocks separate, losers and gainers, in favor of gainers. Paytm is down about 1.7%. That's it. Container Corporation is another one on the downside with about a 2.25% cut. Look at SRF. SRF is down about 2%. I think Friday was a weak day for SRF, and it's been losing ground over the last many weeks now.
I just want to mention, one follow-up on TVS Motor. It's, by the way, at a fresh high today, fresh 52-week high.
Right.
So apart from this deal of TVS Credit getting money, there is also additional news that TVS Motor will be acquiring the remaining 25% stake in the e-mobility group, SMEG, which is the Swiss e-mobility group. They had earlier 75%, now they'll acquire. So SMEG will become a wholly owned subsidiary, and they're paying 180 crores for that. I'd met Sudarshan Venu at our IBLA show last month, and he was saying is going big into the electric vehicle space, and SMEG does a lot of B2B and B2C EVs. So now, they're just sort of cementing their position in that space.
Okay, well, new highs for the stock, 1383, 1384 is where that one is at.